Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So this is the verse, Rohan. Hare Krishna.
29.
Yeah, this is 29, no? 29, yes. Jara Marana Moksha.
Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Jnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Gurave Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatare Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jara Marana Mokshaya
Jara Marana Mokshaya.
Amashitya Yatantiye
Mama Ashitya Yatantiye.
Te Brahma Tad Vidu Krishnam
Te Brahma Tad Vidu
Krishnam
Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam
Adhyatma Karma Chakhilam.
Intelligent persons are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death, take refuge in the devotion. They're actually Brahman, because they entirely know everything about the transcendental and fruitive activities. Hare Krishna Ramanji, आप पढ़ेंगे? Hare Krishna Raman, Prabhu, you read the purport.
Birth, death, old age, and diseases affect this material body, but not the spiritual body. There is no birth, death, old age, and disease for the spiritual body. So, one who attains a spiritual body becomes one of the associates of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead and engages in eternal devotion service is really liberated. Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit, soul. This Brahman conception of life is also in devotion service. As described in this verse, the pure devotee are transcendentally situated on the Brahman platform, and they know everything about the transcendental and material activities. 4 kinds of impure devotees who engage themselves in the transcendental service of the Lord achieve their respective goals, and by the grace of Supreme Lord, when they are fully Krishna consciousness, they actually enjoy spiritual association with the Supreme Lord. But those who are worshippers of demigods never reach the Supreme Lord in his supreme planet. Even the less intelligent Brahman realized persons cannot reach the supreme planet of Krishna known as Goloka Vrindavana. Only persons who perform activities in Krishna consciousness are actually entitled to be called Brahman because they are actually endeavoring to reach the Krishna planet. Such persons have no misgivings about Krishna and thus they are factually Brahman. Those who are engaged in worshipping the form or archa of the Lord, who are engaged in meditation on the Lord simply for liberation from material bondage, also know by the grace of the Lord the purpose of the Brahman, Adibhuta, etc., as explained by the Lord in the next chapter.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jara Marana Mokshaya. Okay. Mam Ashritya Yitantite. They take shelter of Krishna and they endeavor. Te Brahma Tadavidu Krishna, and they understand the factually Brahman. Adhyatmam Karma Chakhilam. They understand all kind of activity. Transcendental and fruitive activity. Adhyatma is spiritual. Okay. This is, everybody is clear. There are three bodies we have. We have three kind of bodies. One we have is a gross body, physical body, in which we have teeth, everything. One we have the subtle body, that is the mind. And one we have the spiritual body. Just like we wear undershirt and other garment that you can take as a subtle body. And then there is a gross body. Originally we have a spiritual body. We do not need either of the bodies because soul has everything in it. Unnecessarily the soul takes up subtle and gross body. There is just no need actually of either of the bodies. Okay, this is clear, everybody. Now the gross body undergoes a suffering and it has old age disease. Nothing happens to the soul. Soul is always gloriously situated in its constitution, but it is a slumber now, practically sleeping. Okay, so therefore whole spiritual exercise is to wake up the soul, because we are in a very difficult position. Therefore, when hearing about Bhagavad Gita, all this thing is gradually waking up. You understand, Prashantji, Dr. Ji, Nambarji? Suppose you go to America and you become a big dentist there. Okay. And it is 10 years over, 20 years over. Then somebody said, do you remember those Hare Krishna people used to come? I remember. One person name was like this. Yeah. So same way when you hear the Bhagavad Gita, it is like actually soul knows everything. It's the eternal servant of the Lord. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakta Sadhu Vinaya Shamanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. But by hearing, yeah, and that's it. Therefore, when we read Bhagavad Gita, actually it's like that. It's so peaceful to read because this actually I know, but I'm slowly waking up. So Prabhupada says when you attains a spiritual body means when the soul is awakened, becomes one of the associate supreme person, goes back to his original self. Oh, what are we doing here? Sure. What I'm doing, but this gross body gives so many kind of upadhis. I'm a doctor here, I'm an engineer here, I'm this there. I'm a servant of Krishna. What I'm doing in this place? And person, therefore, in a liberated position, goes to engage in eternal devotion service. Goes back, he never comes back. What kind of service? Eternal. For one time, all problems are over. Is it reasonable, Prashantji?
Yes, so much.
But one thing is there. In a spiritual world, there is no dentist. Because the spiritual body has teeth, but the teeth don't have any problems. And therefore, we get surprised when the teeth has a pain. Why it has a pain? Because you have a memory of a body in which teeth don't give pain. It is always only nectar. We only enjoy. There is no trouble. The spiritual world, we go as a devotee. You understand? There is no need of engineer in the spiritual world because all the vehicles are, they don't get spoiled. And they don't use, bada vehicles there. They generally use powerful birds, and those birds don't fall. It's like, we always hear Krishna coming with Garuda when he comes to meet anybody, correct? And the Garuda doesn't get on the way. Oh, Krishna, today I have a stomach pain, I'm falling down. No. It's perfect, powerful. Similarly, Shiva has a vehicle, Brahma, these vehicles, even the Devatas have vehicles which don't spoil. Brahma has a swan, Shiva has Nandi, correct? So these vehicles are quite good. So in the spiritual world particularly, in the material world we have Vishwakarma, who is with the engineer, and we have Dhanvantari, which is the doctor. But spiritual world, you don't need a doctor and you don't need an engineer because the soul can move by its own will. It doesn't need any help. So pure devotee, the transcendent in the Brahman Prata, they know everything about the transcendent material activities. Okay. By the grace of Supreme Lord, when they're fully Krishna conscious, they actually enjoy spiritual association of Supreme Lord. In the beginning, they come to the Lord we saw about the 4 desires, Artho, Arthartha, Jigyasu, Gyani. Somebody needs money, somebody has some problem, somebody is inquisitive, they may come. They're called impure because they want something from the Lord. Just like, say, we have Prashantji, you have various sons. But one son comes to you whenever there is problem, you're happy. At least he has come to the father. You're very happy to give him. But one son comes to you just to serve you. That's a real son. Correct? One comes when he has something in need. That's not the best of them. But one comes just out of duty, out of love. Okay? That's the best son. That's a pure. So in pure stages, they go to the Lord for something. In a pure state, they go by love. Grace, when they're fully Krishna conscious, enjoy association of Supreme Lord. But those who are worship the demigod, warning here, 2 warnings, red lines, never reach the Supreme Lord in this planet. Because they will reach some Deva Loka, they will not reach Vaikuntha Loka. Okay? And worse is even the people of Brahman realize, I am not body, I have soul, only that much knowledge, but there is no knowledge of service to the Lord. They may reach Brahman, but they will not reach Vaikuntha. So just like outside the jail is a big wall, and then there is city. So these people get stuck in the wall. They know that it's not good. Just like we understand in a desert there is no water. That much they know. But where there is water, they don't know. So where do they end up? They don't want to be in the jail because they know there is no happiness in this jail of the material world. But they do not have information about the spiritual world also. So they get stuck in the boundary that is Brahma Jyoti. Okay? Cannot reach the supreme planet of Krishna known as Goloka Vrindavana. Only person perform activities in Krishna consciousness, Mam Ashritya. That's why the line here is Mam Ashritya. They take shelter of the Lord and engage in devotional service. Only they can reach the supreme planet. Okay? Because they're actually endeavoring to reach Krishna planet. These people have no misgivings about Krishna and they are factually Brahma. They have clear understanding of Krishna. Okay. Yes, any questions on this shloka?
Sir, sorry, sir. Can I answer?
Yeah.
Sir, in that 4 kinds of impure devotees, sir, the 4 kinds are, sir, like one comes out of fear, desire, duty, and love. So there is only 3.
No.
Love is the best.
That we decided, not this. This is Artho Arthartha Jigyasu Gyani. That is that definition.
Okay.
Even then, even among them, the Gyani was glorified, but still is neophyte. It's gone for something. Correct. It's not the love case in that. Okay?
Okay.
It refers to the shloka of this chapter only. Okay? That is another analysis we made. Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic, and on transcendental platform. Tamasic man goes to the Lord out of fear. Rajasic man goes to the Lord out of desire. Sattvic man goes out of duty. And on spiritual platform goes out of love. That is separate, Rohan. So we don't connect that to the shloka of this chapter. The shloka of this chapter was Artho Arthasa Jigyasu Gyanicha Bharata Shiva. Those 4 people.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Shriram ji, any question here?
Nothing, Prabhu. Everything is clear.
Okay, this is this. So it is clear the red lines. So you see that's the whole India is situated presently. Either you find people worshippers of devatas, they don't differentiate with Krishna and the devatas. Practically any puja room, they will be full of 40, 50 pictures. They will have Krishna there. Every Hindu will have picture of Krishna, but he will have all the devatas also together. Correct? But then there is no focus. Then what's the difference when you worship, say, any devata and worship Krishna? What's the difference? The difference is that you don't get any spiritual happiness. Worship the devatas, you may get material facility, but you don't get spiritual satisfaction. It's a temporary. The worship of devatas will give you a temporary benefit. But those who are also meditating on Brahman, I am that, aham brahmasmi, like what the Advaitvadis do. What happens? They also don't reach the spiritual world. Okay? Only spiritual world will reach who wants to serve the Lord. That's the condition. Okay? I have a sincere desire. See, everybody wants something. Mukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakale, ashanta, Krishna, bhakta, nishkama, kevala, shanta. Some people want sense gratification. Okay? They also never read the spiritual world. Mukti, some people want some siddhis. So they can show some siddhis to the Lord. They can create an ash and declare I'm God. They can create a ring. You know, there's some people like that, don't want to name them. They create a shaligram from their mouth. They do all some kind of siddhis, some kind of power they show. Sometimes it is just some magician. Sometimes he may have some power. So what happens? People get very impressed by that. Mukti, mukti. Mukti, some people want liberation from this world. They don't want to be part of this world, but they have no desire to serve the Lord in the spiritual world. So all these people actually want something. They are selfish. They are lusty. But a devotee, Nishkama, has no lust. He just wants to serve the Lord. He doesn't want anything. He is very dear to the Lord. Okay, there is a lot of difference. Everybody wants something. Bhukti, sense gratification, that's the lowest. Then, like an animal is. This is a karmi. Karmi means purpose with animal. Mukti, mukti, okay, I don't want any enjoyment in this world. I want liberation from the world. You want something. Siddhi, he wants some powers. Always they are not peaceful, always they are disturbed. But a devotee doesn't want anything. Even if Krishna keeps in this world, okay, Krishna, just give me some service. If I can serve you, I'll be very happy. How can I serve you? Krishna is touched by that. And that is the devotee Krishna picks up and embraces. He's so dear to the Lord. The rest also Krishna is happy. But the really who please the Lord is the bhakta. And then a sweet relationship starts and he goes to the eternal spiritual world to serve the Lord always. And there also he doesn't seek anything. Even if Krishna says, I'll give you this. No, Krishna, I don't want anything. Just give me some service. Okay. Isn't it, Rohan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prashantji. Any questions
yes,
on
sir.
this?
Yes, Swamiji. Nothing. Sir.
Chalo. Good. Thank you. Sadibhutadi devam ham
Sadibhutadhidevam mam
Sadi yagnam cha ye viduhu
Sadi yagnam cha ye
Ye
vidu
vidu.
prayana kale api cha mam
Kale
Prayanakale
apicam.
devidu yukta chetasaha.
Deviduryukta
Yukta
chetasaha.
chetasa.
Those who know me as the Supreme Lord and the governing Those who know me as the Supreme Lord or the governing principle of the material manifestation, who know me as one underlying all the demigod, as one sustaining all sacrifices, can a steadfast mind understand and know me even at the time of death. Yes, we will read this. Shri Ramji, you'd like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Persons acting in Krishna consciousness and never entirely deviated from the path of understanding Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the transcendental association of Krishna consciousness, one can understand how the Supreme Lord is the governing principle of the material manifestation, and even of the demigods. Gradually, by such transcendental association, one becomes convinced of the Supreme Personality of God, Godhead Himself, and at the time of death, such a Krishna conscious person can never forget Krishna. Naturally, he is thus promoted to the planet of Supreme Lord Golok Vrindavan. This seventh chapter particularly explains how one can become fully Krishna conscious person. The beginning of Krishna consciousness is association of persons who are Krishna consciousness. Such association is spiritual and puts one directly in touch with the Supreme Lord, and by His grace, one can understand Krishna to be Supreme Lord. At the same time, one can really understand the constitutional position of the living entity and how the living entity forgets Krishna and becomes entangled in the material activities. By gradual development of Krishna consciousness in good association, the living entity can understand that due to forgetfulness of Krishna, he has become conditioned by the laws of material nature. He can understand that this human form of life is an opportunity to regain Krishna consciousness and that should be fully utilized to attain the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Many subjects have been discussed in this chapter. The, the man in distress, the inquisitive man, the man in want of material necessities, the knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma, liberation from birth, death, and disease, and worship of Supreme Lord. However, he who is actually elevated in Krishna consciousness does not care for different processes. He simply directly engages himself in the activity of Krishna consciousness and thereby factually attains his constitutional position as eternal servitor of Lord Krishna. In such a situation, he takes pleasure in hearing and glorifying Supreme Lord in pure devotional service. He is convinced that by doing so, all his objectives will be fulfilled. The determined faith is called Dhrad Vrata, and it is the beginning of Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service. That is the verdict of all scripture. This seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the substance of this conviction. Thus ends Bhaktivedanta purport of the seventh chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of knowledge of the Absolute. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Know me even at the point of death. So this is Prayana Kale. The whole 8th chapter will go on this Prayana Kale, how to remember. The next chapter is starting. How to remember the Lord at the time of death. It's a very, very important point because finally that's an examination. Whole life is the preparation, death is the examination. Correct? At that moment, where the whole body is breaking down, there is so much pain, emotional pain, physical pain, and how to focus the mind on the Lord. Because whatever you think at the point of death, you get a body accordingly. So at the point of death, if you are desiring some desire is there in the heart, we have been discussing that desire and hate. If you are still on the platform, you're born in this world. But if you're beyond the platform of desire and hate, and you desire, my Lord, just I want to serve you. You go back to the spiritual world. Okay. So that will be the whole 8th chapter on that meditation. But this chapter is touching that chapter, therefore you see the Prayana Kale is coming. Okay, one can understand Supreme Lord as the governing principle and what is important and constitution and even of the demigods. Krishna is the source. Krishna himself declares, Aham Adivi Devana. I am the source of even the Devatas. Correct? There has to be an origin, and Krishna says, I am that origin. Okay, gradually by association, what happens? One becomes convinced of the Supreme Personality of God himself. So as you start reading Bhagavad Gita, gradually, in association with devotees, yeah, I understand. And then what happens at the time of death, one cannot forget Krishna. He is able to focus. Generally, what happens? The mind is distracted to so many Devi Devatas. But mind becomes focused now. Just like the famous pastime of Ambarish Maharaj, his mind was focused on Krishna's lotus, even though he had so much trouble. But Durvasa Muni was running around all the Devi Devatas. Naturally, that's promoted to the planet of the Supreme Lord, Goloka Vrindavan. Correct? The Devi Devatas may have some role in this world to create our life comfortable, but they have no locus standa to take us to the spiritual world. That is Krishna Loka or the Vaikuntha Loka. Okay? When you say Krishna, it includes Narayana, it includes Vishnu. So what happens? We get an association of devotees, and what is a benefit of association is as good as getting directly in touch with the Supreme Lord. Correct? When you're reading the Bhagavad Gita, it's actually we are associating with Krishna in good association with devotees. And by the grace, one can understand Krishna to be the Supreme Lord. Okay? That's the benefit. By gradual development of Krishna consciousness, good association, living entity can understand the duty for Krishna. He has become conditioned by the laws of material nature. That's my only problem. There is only one problem I have. I've forgotten the Lord. There is no other problem. I've forgotten who am I, and I've also forgotten my service to the Lord. That's the problem. I have no other problem. He can understand human form of life as an opportunity to regain my Krishna consciousness. We should be fully utilized to attain the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Okay? So we should take full advantage. Labdava sudurlabam idam bahu samdavante. The great opportunity I got human form of life. Now let me take full advantage. Just like you're climbing the Tirupati hill. Correct? Human life is like the last step. Now you are in front of the Lord. Just take darshan and pray to the Lord in human form. Therefore, again and again, Shastra wants, don't get distracted into some material activity at that point. Isn't it, Prashantji? You're climbing
Yes, sir.
Tirupati hill. That's like 84 lakh species. The last is you are in front of the Lord, human form. Correct? Just what you should do when you are in front of the Lord? Just pray to the Lord. No? Correct? You say, no, I'm about eating. You could have done that before, you know. No, I was thinking about sleeping. That was there before you could have done. You get 30 seconds in front of the Lord. Offer one prayer. My Lord, I'm here. Give me a chance to serve your devotee. Whatever nice prayer you are, offer the Lord. Correct? Don't, at that moment start thinking of material activity. No, here Lord is in front. Isn't it? That's all we do or not? Now you used to climb by the steps. Anybody has climbed the Tirupati temple by steps? Shriram? Prashantji, you have climbed by
Yes,
steps?
sir.
I haven't gone to Tirupati, but not climbed, Swamiji.
Or you went by vehicle?
Vehicle, sir.
Yeah. So take an example. You know many people climb. By Preeti, you have climbed the steps?
Yes, Prabhuji, I and Neha has done.
Oh, you steps you climb. Very nice. Neha is also there. So how much time it took?
Prabhuji, not this Neha, another Neha.
Huh?
Prabhuji, it took for us 9 hours actually to walk.
Okay, no problem. And so many thousands of steps are there, correct? Anna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. And when you finally see the Lord, you get how much time? You get 30 seconds, 1 minute. That's it, no? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
In fact, I was lucky. I went the day they closed the temple, the day in the morning. No crowd only. We had such a nice darshan. We rare VVIP darshan we got. Okay. That was the day in the evening. We went in the morning at 3 o'clock in the evening. They closed the temple recently. We went there. So we get a last chance. Just offer prayer. My Lord, I'm here, your servant. Just small service. I like to offer some prayer to you. That moment, if you're thinking about, oh, my leg is paining, oh, I have to eat something, then what will people say? That 30 seconds, actually, you could have prayed. No? So human form is like that. You get to such difficulty. But we forget to focus on the Lord and pray. Correct? That things you can do other place. Again and again, Sarot Labate Devat, Prahlad Maharaj says, these things you can do in any form of life. Why in this form you're thinking about it? Correct? Just like the example we take famous, we stand in front of the mirror, you should think about what is the best use I can do of this body. Just like you have mobile. You can use it like a paperweight, but that you can do with the free one stone from outside you can bring. Mobile is worth much more. So look at the body, what is the best use of this body? I can surrender to the Lord, this body. Eating, sleeping, all the home human society today, so much engrossed economic development. I can improve the standard of my life. I can have a bigger car, correct? And I can have a bigger house. And whole life goes into that. But these animals can also do it. But human life is offered for prayer. I can offer a sincere prayer to the Lord. That's all the life is meant for. So human form of life is an opportunity. That's an opportunity. You can offer some prayers. Krishna definitely kind will give you Krishna consciousness. But we don't ask him that. We ask other things. However, he is actually elevated in Krishna consciousness, does not care for different other processes of self-realization. What he do? Directly engages himself activity with Krishna consciousness and factually attains the original position, the eternal servant of Krishna. Such a situation takes pleasure. And what happens when it becomes serious in Krishna consciousness? He takes pleasure in hearing and glorifying the Lord in pure devotion service. See how beautifully properly written out purpose. He is convinced that doing so all his objective will be fulfilled. Shraddha Sabda Vishwas Suddha Nishaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. But just by offering service to Krishna, everything is done. This determined faith is called Dhrida Varta because this is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Shraddha. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. And what is Shraddha? Shraddha Sabda Vishwas Suddha Nishaya Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. They would properly say this is called Dhrida Varta and is the beginning of Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service. Okay, Prashanti, you had a question?
No, Swamiji, it's perfectly. No questions, Swamiji.
Very nice. Just be a little patient, Dr. Ji, everything will become clear. By nature, you have a beautiful service attitude, very humble, but not exposed to Krishna consciousness as such, correct? The philosophy, right?
Yes, Swamiji.
Just little patience. You are intelligent enough to become a big doctor, not easy. Yeah, this is very easy. See, amount of effort you took to become a doctor, by that effort, you can go to spiritual world. 10% effort of that, you can go to the spiritual world. It doesn't take that much. Somehow we are not trained, isn't it? We are not. How much effort you put to get become a doctor? So much effort. Little effort, you can go back to the spiritual world. Krishna is not expecting that kind of effort. Little. We read how many books you read in medicine. Oh my God. It's like a mountain, isn't it? Hannah?
Yes.
Compared to that, this Bhagavad Gita, you few shlokas, this is all like you do 10 books like this you do in a year, isn't it?
Yes.
Small effort, small. Okay, anybody has to add anything? Hare Krishna, Amrita Mataji, welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so proceed. Anybody wants to add anything? Any questions? Hemant, Gayatri Mataji, Manjunath, Manish, Neha.
No, bro, it's clear. Thanks.
We all want to attain the Supreme. Everybody is eager to go to the next chapter.
Yes, sir. Yes, Prabhuji.
We should have that enthusiasm, Prabhupada used to finish writing, say, 7th canto in the night. He used to get up 2 o'clock, 2 hours, he used to get up 12 o'clock. Then you start writing. And somewhere, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, he has finished 7th canto. It doesn't feel, oh, let me sleep now. No. Correct? Then he will start immediately start the 8th canto. So like that, let us also continue. He still has half an hour probably with us. Now continue. Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Kim tad Brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim tad Brahma
Kim tad Brahma kim adhyatmam.
Kim karma purushottama.
Kim karma
Karma purushottama.
Adibhotam cha kim proktam.
Adibhotam
Kim Proktam.
Adidevam kim uchyate.
Adidevam Muchyate.
Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activity? What is material manifestation? What are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Yes, Amrita Mataji would like to read.
Yes. Purport. In this chapter, Lord Krishna answers these different questions of Arjuna, beginning with what is Brahman. The Lord also explains karma, fruitive activities, devotional service, and yoga principles, and devotional service in its fruit. The Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the Supreme Absolute Truth is known as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. In addition, the living entity, individual soul, is also called Brahman. Arjuna also inquires about Atma, which refers to body, soul, and mind. According to the Vedic dictionary, Atma refers to the mind, soul, body, and senses also. Arjuna has addressed the Supreme Lord as Purushottaman, Supreme Person, which means that he was putting these questions not simply to a friend, but to the Supreme Person, knowing him to be the Supreme Authority, able to give definitive answers.
This is so beautiful. Every time Arjuna addresses Krishna, he uses a particular word. One thing he's singing in poetry, correct? You can see these verses are like poetry. And on top of it, he's using a particular word for Krishna, perfect for that occasion. Like in the beginning, first word he uses Achyuta. Senayor Ubhayo Madhye Ratham Sthapyame Achyuta. And there was a reason why he used that word Achyuta, because Achyuta never falls down from his position. And here, Krishna had agreed, promised to be his chariot driver. Krishna never breaks his promise. He's Achyuta. Even though Krishna is the driver, he still remains the Supreme Lord because he is Achyuta. He never falls down. Okay. Similarly, you see throughout the Bhagavad Gita, the word Arjuna uses for Krishna is specific and it has a reason to be there at that moment. And same way, Krishna uses different words for Arjuna. Correct? It's all different reasons. Isn't it amazing? Rohan? Correct? Perfect. Extempore. Not that he's thinking for 10 hours and then he's speaking. No. They finish the whole discussion within 2 muhurtas. And for us, this will be impossible to one shloka to write in 1 muhurta. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan is the 3 aspects of Supreme Lord. What is the shloka? Vadanti Tattva Vidas. Vadanti Tattva Vidas Tattva Madhvanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdate. The 3 aspects of the Supreme Truth explained in Bhagavad. This is for proper quoted. So generally, Supreme Absolute Truth, the knowledge of the Lord, generally what is known as Brahman. Just like you see the sunshine, this is spiritual light is there. That's one aspect of the Lord. It is true, and that is aspect of the Lord, but that's not complete. It is like seeing a mountain from a great distance. You just see a shadow, that's all. The next level is Paramatma, which is little more. You see the shape. And next level is the Bhagavan, where you can, just like you go near the mountain, you can see the shape. And Bhagavan means you go still near the mountain, you can see the activities going in the mountain. There are in one mountain, sometimes there are many, many villages. One mountain. Okay, do you understand? So similarly, Supreme Truth has these 3 stages. Another example is given is sunshine, sun disk, and activities on sun planet. Brahman compared to sunshine, Paramatma compared to sun disk, and activities compared to Bhagavan. Okay, everybody understand the 3 levels? Preeti, do you understand the 3 levels?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Here, Neha, do you understand this?
Could you explain again, Prabhuji?
No, 3 levels: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Correct? Everybody understands here.
Yeah.
Shriram?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. There are various examples taken to understand it. So there was a train coming to a village. So 3 people are waiting because they have never seen the train in British time. They're all waiting in the night. And all villagers waiting. But as usual, train gets late in India. The villagers said, no, we are going because in India, the culture is just early, previously. Today, the culture has changed. So then the 3 people are waiting to inform the villagers what the train was. So first they see a bright light. So the person runs to the village, one person, and wakes up. Oh, you know what the train is? Bright light. So that's how the first conception of the truth is, generally for the people. The next level is that while they keep waiting and one person sees, oh, it's like a snake from a distance. He runs to the village, can't hold himself. Hey, wake up everybody. So what happened? The train is like a snake. Oh, the snake. They sleep off. They can't understand what he's talking. The third person waits. You see the train comes in front. He sees within the train there are activities going on. There are people like him. They're eating and they're laughing and joking. And he sees everything. He goes to inform them. A train is, engine, and that the people are there. They laugh. That is Bhagavan. So that is a spiritual word at 3 aspects. One thing is Brahma Jyoti. Other thing is the Lord has such a beautiful form, Paramatma. And then the wonderful activities going in the spiritual world. The Supreme Truth, Absolute Truth, God has 3 aspects. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Nambaji, clear?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Arjuna addressed Supreme Purushottama, Supreme Person. It seems that he was putting this question not to the friend but to Supreme Person because he is using a specific word, Purushottama. Okay, thank you. We go to the next verse.
Yes.
Any questions there?
No.
Adi Yagna Katam Ko Atra. Yes. Pramodji, you want to say something, Dr. Ji?
Yeah, I think the way you said is exactly right, because we should also to call somebody with different names that will praise them. The way Lord Krishna and they're exchanging rather than talking the actual name, they're talking the different names, so that we praise them. In the daily practical life also, if any person comes as the sons or daughters and classrooms and students, if you talk in the different names, so that will praise them also.
We do
I
that?
hope I'm very wrong, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but we don't do that much. You know? Maybe we don't have the name, but we use in a colloquial term. Aaj to aap, we say like that. We don't have different names, correct? Previously, people.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, I got from this idea. So, yes.
Previously, culture was very strong and people are also very powerful. They were using various names. But
Various
today, oh my God, today is like people don't have intelligence only. People used to have many names, not one.
Yeah.
Correct? Like Krishna has how many names? Sahasranama you can make of Krishna. Vishnu you can make Sahasranama. Today we just have one or two names maybe. But actually a person has maybe 3-4 names. One name, actual name. And one name with the friends give him, 2. And one name the mother has, 3. And one name maybe his girlfriend has, 4. I'm just joking. More names people have.
Like designation also might be.
There will have hundreds of names. Rohan?
Sir, maybe designation also can be a name, like the vice president is coming or the CEO is coming, like that.
Yeah, so that time when you're talking to somebody and they say, now the vice president is speaking. Yeah, that can be, sometimes at that context, it becomes very relevant. Or
yes.
the engineer is speaking. Okay, we can understand. So, okay.
During naming, so just to add, Prabhu, like during naming ceremony also, we consider 5 names.
Oh, really?
Yes, Prabhu. In our, Gauda Saraswata Brahmins and Brahmins family, right? So they always ask 5 names for a child. Then we select the best one out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we finally give him one name, Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
And also in ISKCON, when the Diksha happens, at that time, we take the first character we don't want to change, because generally that is character comes because of astrological calculation, correct? Names to start with V or P, the Brahmin will say, correct? And then they select different names. So they don't change the first character, but then they think about the name in terms of his service, in terms of his nature sometimes. So then, it fits that person. And they take time on it, take a lot of time to give a name. Okay.
Yes.
Go to the second verse. Okay. Adiyagna katam ko atra.
Adiyagna katam ko atra.
Dehesmin madhusudana.
Dehesmin madhusudana.
Katam.
Prayanakale katam.
Neo asi niyatatma bihi. How does this Lord of Sacrifice live in the body, and in which part does he live, O Madhusudana? And how can those engage in devotional service? Very important question. Were you at the time of death? Anil, you like to speak?
Yes, sir. Oh, but the Lord of Sacrifice accepts Indra and Vishnu. Vishnu is the chief of the primal demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, and Indra is the chief of the administrative demigods. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by yajna performances, but here Arjuna asks, who is actually the Lord of yajna, sacrifice, and how is the Lord residing within the body of the living entity? Arjuna addresses the Lord as Madhusudana because Krishna once killed a demon named Madhu. Actually, these questions, which are of the nature of doubts, should not have arisen in the mind of Arjuna, because Arjuna is a Krishna conscious devotee. Therefore, these doubts are like demons. Since Krishna is so expert in killing demons, Arjuna here addresses him as Madhusudana, so that Krishna might kill the demonic doubts that arise in Arjuna's mind. Now the word Prayana Khale in this verse is very significant because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna fears that at the time of death, those who are in Krishna consciousness will forget the Supreme Lord because at such a time, body functions are disrupted and the mind may be in a panic stricken state. Therefore, Maharaja Kulashekara, a great devotee, prays, "My dear Lord, may I die immediately now that I'm healthy, so that the swan of my mind may enter into the stem of the lotus feet." This metaphor is used because the swan often takes pleasure in entering the stem of the lotus flower. Similarly, the mind of the pure devotee is drawn to the lotus feet of the Lord. Maharaja Kulashekara fears that at the moment of death, his throat will be so choked up that he will not be able to chant the holy names, so it is better to die immediately. Arjuna questions how one's mind can remain fixed on Krishna's lotus feet at such times.
It's a very beautiful prayer. Rohan, look at this prayer.
So which one?
This prayer.
Maharaj Kulashekara?
Yeah, type Kulashekara Alva, Prabhupada, ISKCON, and prayer. It's an amazing prayer of Kulashekara Alva belongs to Sri Sampradaya. Okay, Rohan, you do that by the time I explain.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Arjuna was who is the Lord of Yagna sacrifice and how the Lord residing in the body of the living entity. Okay, this is understood. Now, actually, Arjuna's position is we are no one to measure him. He's a pure devotee of Krishna, and as well little I could understand, Mahamaya cannot touch Arjuna because he's the eternal servant of the Lord. Police is only to touch criminals. Police doesn't touch pure devotees. Correct? So this Maya, not Mahamaya, it's Yoga Maya. It's the arrangement of the Lord is bewildered. And he's asking those doubts that has come in his mind because of Yoga Maya, and he's addressing Krishna as Madhusudana. Correct? Just like we are doing in any profession, when we get doubts, it chokes all our enthusiasm. Doubts choke over. So similarly, Krishna, please remove these doubts. How do I remember at the point of death? Please remove these doubts. So why? Because Krishna killed a demon called Madhu. So he's saying, oh Madhusudana. So here the word used Madhusudana is significant. So please remove doubts because they are choking. Okay? Please kill the demonic doubts within my heart. Now the Prayana Kala is very important. Prabhupada say, whatever you do in this life will be tested at the time of death. See, in this world we may acquire different positions. Okay, I'm a respected person, I'm big, I'm small. All these things have no issue will be tested at the time of death. Because time of death, what is seen, is irrespective of all this drama of this world. Do you have what kind of conscience you have? What is the desire which you have cultivated in your heart, which is prominent? This will be tested at the point of death. Okay, you all understand? Yeah. Arjuna fears the time of death. Those who are in Krishna consciousness forget the Supreme Lord. Why? Because body functions are disrupted at the time, At the point of death, now the doctor Saab can know the situation is very difficult. Prashantji,
Yes, sir.
what do you say medically the situation at the point of death? How does it feel?
That coma?
Now, what will be this position? Even you say without coma,
experience.
kind of a point of death. Is it very pleasant situation?
It's subconscious. It's like losing conscious. This one.
Very painful, no? See, he's dying because of something. Either his liver has collapsed, or his kidney has collapsed, or his brain has collapsed. So there's a lot of pain, correct?
Yes, Swamiji.
And other thing is also having emotional pain because you're losing all your friends, relatives in one go. You're not going to see them again. Last moment you're seeing them, correct? So he's having emotional pain, which is sometimes maybe even more prominent. And then there is strong physical pain, body is tearing, correct? Just like small operation, suppose somebody does live operation, how painful it is, correct? So there is so much pain he's having physical. It's a very difficult position. So he's saying at that time, I may be in a panic-stricken situation, quite normal, panic-stricken situation, correct? What do you say? Isn't it? In that painful position, person become panic. He said, I may be in a panic-stricken situation. This is a great prayer by Kulashekara Alva. And he says to the Lord that if an old age, particularly even more difficult, because you know there is so much kapha and so much, your throat is choked up because of old age, you know. Yes, you understand? Old persons sometimes cannot even speak legibly, correct? Because of choking up. It's because of my throat may be choked up because of so much mucus, bile. I may not be able to utter your name, and I may not be able to think about you. He said, "Let me die immediately." It's a famous prayer. Yes, Rohan, did you locate this prayer?
सर आपको मैसेज भेजा सर.
अरे message नहीं, okay? Okay, you give
Yes.
me a message, I can take from there. Thank you. Just give me 1 minute. I'm getting this famous prayer.
Sir, sir, you want me to tell it? Sir, वो chat में डाल दिया.
No problem. Chat का तो everybody can see, but I'll share now. Okay, everybody can see this?
Yes.
Oh, where go without? Yes. Okay, everybody can see now clearly. Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Pancharantam Advayamev. Anybody knows to sing this prayer? Anybody here? Pramodji, do you know this prayer to sing?
No, Prabhuji, no.
Okay, it's a very famous prayer. Some Shri Vaishnava. Anybody Shri Vaishnava here? Background? Nobody here. Shri Vaishnavas will know this prayer Kantastha. All Alvars they remember. Just like we have a Goswami, the Shri Vaishnava, they have the Alvars. Advayo me Vishat Manasaraja Hamsaha Prana Prayana Samaye Kapavatta Pittay Kantho Varoda Vidhau Smaranam Kutaste. It says, Prana Prayana, at the time of death, Kapha Pitta, Pittay, all this thing will choke my throat. How will I remember my Lord? Kantho Varo Vidhau Smaranam Kutaste. How will I do? Krishna. Now my mind, let me take shelter of the, just like a Hamsa, take shelter of the stem of the lotus. Keep playing with the stem of the lotus. I said, let me just take shelter of your lotus feet now. Huh? So that's what I say. Oh my Lord Krishna, at this moment that the royal son of mine enter the tangible stem of your lotus feet. How will it be possible for me to remember it at the time of death when my throat will be choked up with the mucus of bile and air? So now let me actually leave the body. And because I'm young now, I can say Hare Krishna. At the time of his old age, when I have death, I may not be able to properly utter because of, my throat may be choked up. I may not be able to chant your name while leaving the body. Let me die now. Is it amazing prayer?
Yes.
At this moment, let me just leave the body and attain your lotus. Okay, so this is a very advanced prayer. Don't try. And we are not even ready to offer this. There is a proper jokes, no? The Ashtang yogis, they keep praying, they keep to postpone the death. Just like students are very happy. Teacher, exam next week, So finally, one day we have to face the death and we have to pass. Okay, thank you. The metaphor used, the swan often takes pleasure in entering the stem of the lotus flower. Similarly, the mind is the pure devotee drawn to the lotus feet of the Lord. This is actually spiritual. On a Yogamaya, I feel like that lotus feet. Maharaj Kulushekhara fears at the moment of his death, his throat will be so choked he will not be able to chant the holy names. It's better to die immediately. Arjuna questioned how one's mind can remain fixed on Krishna's lotus feet at such times. Yeah, anybody has a question, anything to add here? Dr. Ji, Pramod Ji?
आप जाओ
प्रभु जी
नेटवर्क में भूल होता है
हाँ धर्मेश जी
Yes, Prabhuji.
You wanted to say something?
No, Prabhuji. I mean, it started from that last verse of 7th chapter. So I think it is rightly addressing this main question, Prayanikale.
Prayanikale. Yeah, about the full discussion. This chapter is on Prayanikale only. We just started it today. Yes, Rohan, any reflection?
Oh, sir, one good point, sir, that is to be noted is that one should first get in touch with the devotee is like directly serving the Supreme Lord.
Yes.
So,
association. Now, see what happens. There are Krishna cannot be seen now because we are not ready. Krishna wants to see us. He wants to talk to you, but we are not ready now to handle his presence. Correct? Just like Indra, even Devata's Indra also made a mess. And the whole Govardhan Leela was because Indra became so proud, he tried to disturb Krishna Leela. So till our heart is pure, we will not be able to enter into Krishna's presence. So what Krishna does, seeing our condition like this, he wants to still help us. So 5 places he becomes present. Even more, he can create 5. One place Krishna gets present is the holy name. He is present in the holy name. So you can chant the holy name of the Lord. It is as good as sitting with Krishna. That is what we have been given. Therefore, everybody is requested to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So take opportunity and proper. That's what he has to chant. How many rounds minimum? 16 rounds. Okay. Please take it up.
16.
Now that is one part. And the second place Krishna is present is he's present. Yes, where is he present? Sri Ramji. Krishna is present in the holy name in this world. Even though it's a vibration, Krishna is fully present. What's the other place Krishna is present, Sri Ram?
Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Yeah?
Yes, he's present in the book Bhagavata. Okay, Sri Ram?
I did not get it, Prabhu.
No, see, in the material world, because of our conditioning, we are not ready to see Krishna face to face. Correct? In a spiritual form. So Krishna, what he does, he manifests himself in certain ways in this world, so he becomes accessible to our material senses. Okay? One way is that Krishna is present in the holy name. We have material ears. We can hear the vibration. But the vibration is spiritual, not material. That is one. What is the other place the Lord is present? Is the Bhagavatam, the books. Book Bhagavata. You can read the book. It is as good as what we are reading Bhagavad Gita, as good as sitting with the Lord. Correct? Because these are all Krishna's words only we are reading. Yeah, 2. Then, with the other place the Lord. Prashadam.
Bhakta Bhagavat.
Very easy. Mahaprashade Govinda. Everybody chants this in the morning. There, this answer is there. Mahaprashade Govinda. Nama Brahmana Vaishnava. Correct? In the Nama is there. Okay? So Mahaprashada is there. Okay? Then the deities. In the temple we worship the deities in love. There also Lord is present fully. Correct? So so he's present in the deity. He's present in the holy name. He's present in the books. Then he's present in Prashadam. And also, yes, that's what the last one. Just like the devotee.
What is that?
No, he's also present in the devotee. Correct?
Yeah.
Particularly the Acharya, they worship as good as God because they're carrying the Lord in their heart. Everybody is carrying the Lord in the heart for that matter, but they have realized His presence in the heart. Correct? So they have worshipped as good as the Lord in that sense. In the sense that Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Sashre Yukta Chata Bhavata Eva Sadvi Kintu Prabhoya Priyavitasya. They worship because they're so dear to the Lord. Constantly because they're great devotee, they glorify the Lord. Getting in touch with them is also like getting in touch with Krishna. Okay? So in these 5 ways, we get association of Krishna in this world and we get electrified. Just like iron which touches fire, it becomes like fire. So similarly, when you chant Hare Krishna, what is it? It's a vibration only. But when you chant Hare Krishna, you get electrified. We give an example, a wire. Piece of wire is wire, but when current is going, it becomes different. So you touch that wire, you will fly in the air. Similarly, Krishna becomes present in these places by his omnipotency, by his own power. And we become spiritually benefited even though we are there in the material world. Yes? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
see, God is present in all the in all human beings. Only few persons will realize He is in with them. Am I right, Prabhuji?
Yes.
He's present in all the human beings, in all the human forms, in all the people. But
Yes.
only few persons, like you people, spiritual person, realize that God is with them.
Not you, we people. We are just taking medicine, that's all. See, Acharya means he is realized. Our condition is we are taking medicine. Just like there may be two people. Now, doctor can understand that point, Prashantji. The one person is that he's having the two sickness, and one person is that who's taking medication regularly. He's going to the doctor regularly. But those who are going to the doctor regularly have some hope that the sickness will get reduced. But those who are not going, then they have to suffer. That's all, isn't it, Dr. Ji?
Yes.
So everybody in this world is in a problem, but some people are doing sadhana. Sadhana means, daily hearing Bhagavad Gita, chanting Krishna's name, leading a pure life. They are going to have some hope. There is some hope because they will become healthy one day. So everybody is sick in this world because we are seeing the problem of birth, old age, disease, death.
Means we are patients. In other words, in simple words, we are patients. Look for the God.
Yeah, we are taking medication. That's the only difference. We cannot say we are self-realized. Definitely we are not, but we are taking medication. And we are strictly trying to follow the Acharya in the way of taking medicine. So we can just repeat what is said and explain. It is just like we are like nurses. Prabhupada is like the doctor. Correct? We are not the doctor. We are like nurses. Okay. It's fine, everybody. Done for the day today.
Yes.
Manish, any question?
Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Manish.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhu, I have a
Krishna.
question.
Shri Ramji.
Yes, Prabhu, I have a question. Prabhu, what if unconsciously you do not understand, you do not have that inkling when you are dying? Now, materialistic people quite often feel that those who die during sleep have painless death. Now, through understanding of Bhagavad Gita, I get this feeling that they are most unfortunate people.
No, okay, because I could not remember. No, see what happens. Externally visible is that he is taking rest. As far as I feel, death is equally. We imagine death is very pleasant when you die, surrounded by all friends, relatives. They're holding hands, and the tears are looking at you, and that's fantastic. Death. It's not so good to die in a road accident not, but death is equally painful in any situation. As for I think medically, death will be painful. I don't think he will be sleeping. He will be awake that time. In a torturous pain, everybody has to undergo at the point of death.
Yes. They say, sir, it's like so many pins piercing the body. Sir, they say it's like so many pins piercing the body. That's why I just heard it somewhere. I don't know who said.
Shri Ram ji, बहुत दर्द होता है, बच नहीं सकते.
Prabhuji, it is because the karma, Prabhuji.
What?
It's because the karma. Some people die unexpectedly without any pain. Some people on the bed for many days.
That moment they will be unimaginable pain. No, don't worry about that.
No. I'm talking about because of karma.
Yeah, some people, they for 6 months they are on the bed and they're suffering, they're in coma and all. Somebody was joking. Those people in coma, Yamaraj is thinking what to do with them. Decision is pending. What to do with this fellow? So many sinful activities done. Where to put him? Or he's telling Chitragupta, read the list, and Chitragupta is still reading. So much Papa he has done. And Kadai is getting ready and he's getting all arrangement ready before calling him. Wait. They're getting so much punishment for you. But anyway, the point is that death is very painful. Yes, true. Some people have not so painful death in the sense they don't have such a long suffering before death. Correct? Some people have cancer and then the parts of the body has to be cut one by one. That's very, very painful death. Some people, they have a shorter pain, but pain is there. Parayana Kale is, see, why is it's a design by Krishna. It's a design by Krishna. So we should not lament, but it is, know the fact it is painful. So
what I have heard, Swamiji, It is like, I mean, hundreds or thousands of scorpions biting. Bichu ke dan hota hai, itna dard hota hai.
Yeah. This is the analogy given together. 1 point. It's just like generally they think the labor pain is the biggest pain. No, death pain is the biggest pain, and all of us have to go through that. But it's a design of Krishna, so don't lament about it. It's good because then only you will prepare. Just like in a college, exam is also like a death only. मार दिया इस टीचर ने तो खत्म कर दिया. है ना रोहन? बोलते थे नहीं बोलते थे?
हाँ सर, वो पेपर देख के ऐसा लगता है सर 1000 बिच्छू काट लिया.
खत्म कर दिया. बस मरे आज मर गए. Yes. Same way, but the examination is not that nobody will study. No. So similarly, death is there because then we only become reflective. How many people, if you want anybody to think about spiritual life, just start talking about death. Oh my God, death is there. Death is there. You can't escape. I can't escape. Then he becomes humble. Then he says, what will happen after death? Then the spiritual life starts. The question should come, what will happen after death? And if he's foolish, he will say, after death, I'm finished. But how is he finished? Whole life the body was changing, he remained the same person. Now also the body will change, he'll remain. He's not going to go. So
hey, Prabhuji, my question is it because of the karma? That's what. Is it because some people are not suffering, some people are suffering?
The suffering everybody, but little less or more because the duration may be. Months and somebody maybe just 1 day. Some people that may be the fault. They were quite healthy. And suddenly they had some sickness and they left the body. Correct? Within 1 day they finished it off. Correct? Maybe a few hours he was talking to everybody and suddenly he had some. But that moment there will be excruciating pain.
No,
he can't express. But
no, that's okay. No, that's okay. My question is that why it is because of karma they have done bad deeds.
That's
what my question is that why somebody will die on the spot itself. Some people suffer on this one. It is because of karma, bad deeds or good deeds which have done the previous births.
Yes. It has to be connected to karma, definitely. Any suffering is because of karma. Yeah.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Raman, you wanted to add something?
No, karma only, Prabhu. It is because of karma only.
It's karma only, yes.
Chalo. So anyway,
Thank you, sir.
We have left Krishna, unfortunately, and so we have to pay a little slap for that death. Anna? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Vacha kalpatarupascha kripa sandhikascha Anantapuri Vaishnavindaki Jai 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 Shri Prabhupada.